Butterfly chicken, thank you.
Oh, look at
Sorry,
that.
what are these orange flags I'm seeing in meals?
It's just
Do you
not
go hot? Do
praying.
you
Dan, what colour's your flag gonna be?
I usually get garlic barbecue, you know.
What is this?
Can we don't have a mild? I mean, I'm definitely a garlic and herb.
Give me garlic and herb vibes.
Sorry, did you just say this is not in response to wild herb?
That is actually quite hot. That's like my limit.
Medium's your limit.
Upper threshold.
What would happen if you went beyond medium?
Can we
I've
find
never
out?
gone. I've never tried that. I'm not
never
going
gone
to.
beyond
That's
medium.
actually quite hot for me.
Oh my god.
find out.
Okay, we need to find out. There we go. That's
Hey,
enough.
go steady. man. Right.
He's feeling it instantly.
It's quite hot. I couldn't do that on the whole meal.
Have another. Do
This
another.
should
do that.
never fly.
Do
I
another.
can't do enough. That is quite hot. Jordan, we met before, haven't we? We did. Well, we worked on with I Am Whole.
Am Whole.
It was great. It was a big show. Ed Sheeran and stuff was there.
Yeah.
There was loads of stuff going on. It
Which
was
is
all
actually
in the name
how
of mental health.
that's how we met.
Oh,
Was
nice.
at Ed Sheeran's album
Ed
launch.
Sheeran's first debut album launch
Can't
party.
remember. That's crazy.
Bang.
I know. All the time.
Yeah.
It's my first time meeting you all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
Who's been doing what then?
Me and my sister were like spending every day learning TikTok dances and just
That's quite cute.
putting up videos together. But yeah.
And sadly, mine was a bit more nerdy. I was just doing like facts and stuff like that.
What type of facts? Was it medical facts?
Yeah, like how much blood is in like the adult body kind of stuff. Things like
much?
that. About 5 litres, 4 to 5 litres
Oh, wow.
of blood. Which is actually
Really?
a lot, but not that much.
I just dropped a mixtape.
Yeah?
Nice. Congratulations.
Or the repeat wouldn't go amiss.
Nice.
I like it.
I've moved to the sticks recently, like
Oh yeah.
out of like the city
Good
myself.
move?
Yeah, man. I mean, the air's different, man.
It's
You know what I
true
mean?
though.
It really is.
Like a lot of time I get I get some bad ideas, but I get some good ideas walking as well. You know, when you go and you're like, and you think it's a great idea and you come home and then your manager's like, no.
Maybe that's why my personal
that's
trainers
terrible.
always get me to walk every day. He's always
for
trying to
real.
get me to do an hour walk every day. I'm just like, Teddy, I can't do that. I'm not doing an hour walk. But when the gym was locked up, I said, I guess I am too. So I feel like it's good for my mental health. When you're exercising, you feel good, you look good,
100%.
you know, and you just feel snatched. So that's what I'm trying to get back into.
Yeah.
So guys, why do you think there's a lot of shame around mental health? I describe it to my friends as though, you know, if you break your leg, you go to the A&E or whatever, you go to the hospital. But there's a lot of people who are not literally, but mentally walking around with their legs broken and they can't, there's no real A&E for them.
I feel like, to use that logic, what you just said, if everyone in here had a broken leg, everyone would be experiencing a different pain from that leg.
Absolutely.
So no one can actually fully relate to what someone's going on about. But as long as you understand what it's about, that is,
That is a starting point.
yeah, man.
I think a big part, I think, is like so much stuff like culturally in society over the years. If you look at like, so it used to be said that like suicide is like committed suicide is a crime to take your own life. And if you were found to try and take your own life, rather than help you and realise you had an illness, they'd lock you up for it. No, it was only 1961, I think, that was abolished.
That's not
so
that long
not that
ago.
long ago, that word was removed. And I think so much, if you think that level of stigma, then like so much of it still carries on. There's like a weakness element with it, with mental health. And I think that carries through. I think the conversation is definitely helping. And I guess over the last year, there's like well-being has been said more than ever, mental health, mental illness, people understand a bit more that like everyone has mental health, mental illness is a section within that where someone might have like depression or anxiety, etc. But we all have this shared experience of like emotions and
I think
feelings.
that's the
and
thing,
stuff.
like, there's no competition, you know what I'm saying, about who's going through what or whatever it is. But if you're going through something, depression or an anxiety or even a bad feeling, just a sad feeling about something, there's not, like I said, there's no competition, man. Everyone.
I think it's the
feeling that.
competitive nature of society that brings around the shame
I hear you.
with mental health, because we have, for whatever reason, I think painted this idea for a lot of people that the highest achievement is to be like happy and rich. Do you know what I mean? That's what you're taught as a child is you know, you need to work hard, be happy, and then all that you get shown are like confirmations, sometimes like fictional confirmations of these people that exist in this happy sphere with all this money, which is a complete illusion. People are always struggling.
Absolutely.
And I think that's why there's a shame, because I think our definitions of mental well-being are incredibly narrow and quite flawed. You know, what we consider to be mentally ill or like not normal from my perspective, can often be some of the most sane spaces to
Yeah.
you know? And so I think people are afraid to really get into what they think in their minds or how they feel in out of the worry that they'll lose things, they'll lose friendships, relationships, careers, and then also they think that once they get given like a label or something, that they can never escape that. It becomes this kind of prison.
Well, I suffer from anxiety, so I go through anxiety all the time. If I'm put in an awkward situation, I just hear a voice in my head sometimes saying like, do you actually want to do this? Do you want to go through with this or whatever? Like, my anxiety comes and goes, and it doesn't really define me as well. I always try and tell people, like, you can still be successful and still have some sort of like mental health. Like, it's completely fine. It's just how you navigate it and what help are you getting. Do you know what I mean?
I think it ties into the stuff that you're saying around like what society expects. It's like, the stuff like you sleep when you're dead and like you got to like work really hard and like all the stuff that's actually good for you is kind of like shunned a little bit. It's made to be like, what, you need to take a rest. Obviously that's not going to create like people that are sustainable, that don't burn out, and you know what I mean? It's crazy.
Get your sleep, man. I think that's the thing with social media, has made it like you could read a meme and people, we all do it. You'll subconsciously think, oh, that's normal. That's actually fact. Like, it's not.
It's so interesting you even spoke about social media, because I sometimes think that does have an impact. Even though we always show the positive sides of whatever success might be, I think it's important to also, share that, just the reality of it. Especially if you have a platform as well. Because I will, for example, on Twitter, I do not care. I will share when I'm moody or grumpy or whatever I'm feeling. I'm not all about just making out as if though everything is perfect, because it's just a damn lie. It's not. Be careful of what you take in as well. If we talk about like body image, for example, I tweeted the other day that I've had to like unfollow a couple accounts because I'm so sick and tired of seeing bodies that don't look like mine, or what society is now seeing to be called the standard.
It's okay to just shut off for a bit, man. Delete Instagram, delete social media.
I get so
Don't
bored, though.
talk
What
to people.
do you do though?
I talk to a lot of young people about this, and I say the number one top tip I have is like curate your feed. Like, who do you follow? Do they represent you, like your interests,
Absolutely.
who you are, your beliefs, what you want in life? Because if you're scrolling through and it's like someone, I have the same. I've honestly unfollowed loads of people. I think you make me feel bad, or you annoy me, or whatever.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that as well.
Just unfollow and but take the control. Like, you own your own space.
Oh yeah, don't get twisted. The mute game is strong.
Yeah,
My abandonment issues don't allow for that kind of interaction. Like, I feel so guilty like unfollowing people, and also
I
even
feel
with
so guilty.
WhatsApp
I don't know what it
groups,
is.
man,
I don't know if it's to do with my
leave
stuff.
I can't even leave WhatsApp groups.
Yeah,
I'll
I'm
just
the
accept the
same.
notifications, innit?
No. And again, when you spoke about culture as well, I feel like even being a black woman and coming from like a Nigerian heritage as well, I feel like that is something that I wish we spoke about more in my community. We speak about it here and there, but it's not the way it needs to be. And I've grown up from a culture where I didn't know that someone was having a mental health issue, like when I was younger. I just thought like the devil had taken over, because that's how I saw things in films. That's what people would say. It was the language that we used in our, do you know what I mean? So I never really understood mental health until, it's actually quite sad to say, maybe even in my 20s, I never really, and maybe that's because of, again, maybe the culture of us having these conversations as well.
Well, I think there's a necessity at a certain point to identify it, because, when I think about mental health, I think about how much I want the conversation to include the body, and include
The body and the mind is the whole point.
Yeah,
isn't it?
entirely.
Connection
And we're getting overloaded with these messages, with these adverts, with everybody wanting to literally capitalize on our fears, or our weaknesses, or our impulsiveness.
Like, I feel like I want us to focus on the message and focus on helping others, or focus on funding, to help others, which I think
Definitely
is really
an area that I'm working
important.
on.
What funding? Please do. Please do. I'm going to hit you up.
So last year, actually, I don't know if it's controversial, but recently I've been missing the first lockdown, because I really had a space where things stopped. I didn't have to overthink what was about to happen, what I was missing, all this kind of, I realized this kind of social anxiety I must have had lingering just turned off, and I was able to focus. I taught myself basic meals. I ate really well. I worked out a lot.
Well-being. Love it.
For real. And I felt really strong, and I was very happy. But also, my only child powers kicked in. That's one upside. The global pandemic. I was there, everyone's like, I can't be alone. I'm like, yo, this is my teenage years. What are you talking about? I've been here.
I feel we'll never go through a time like that again as well.
Yeah, but I will say that the winter one at the start of this year really got me.
Okay.
I think
It's hard for a lot of people that time, wasn't it?
I think it's one thing to have a great spell of sun and peace and space. But for me as well, the short days.
Yeah.
Short days inside with like little clarity on what's happening.
Yeah.
To deal with it was how I approach everything, which is eat well and exercise.
I think also having good people around you as well, people who can speak life into you as well, because I would definitely say like my sister's like my number one, you know, she always speaks life into me and I speak life into her. So if I'm going through it, she's always there for me, I'm always there for her. We're always just like, girl, you a bad bee, like you can do this. Yeah, just
that's what
gassing
you
each
need
other.
though,
Yeah.
man. That's, people will say, oh, don't have yes men in your circle or whatever they say, like don't have people that, but it's good to have that as well in moderation.
Yeah, I'm happy to get the yes men going.
Yeah.
Like the critiques, bless, but like I just, you know, just cheerleaders I'm looking for.
That's what it is, man.
You
Everyone needs that, and it's like that's what keeps you going and keeps you motivated.
And make sure you do it for them as well.
100%. My biggest mental health challenge last year was putting out my music because I signed a record deal during the beginning of the year. Thank you. But then lockdown happened. Not being able to tour, drop music, do anything and not feel like a musician is one of the worst feelings that you could have, you know?
Absolutely.
So yeah, man.
What you were literally prevented from?
Literally everything. I just felt like I wasn't.
But you're out of it now.
I'm out of it now. And it's
Exactly.
sick. But that's what I'm saying, like, there are better days ahead.
Of course. No, I always say this too shall pass. That's like one of my favorite quotes. Whenever I'm feeling a bit low, I'm just like, this too will pass. You'll be fine.
Nothing lasts forever.
Nothing lasts forever.
But when you're going through it though, it's
hard to see
is-
past that, isn't it?
tough,
so
man.
hard. It's so hard.
Gosh, mine drops the mood a bit. That's the problem.
Have you had a tough time?
Well, I lost my brother to suicide a year ago. So yeah, that's obviously been tough for the family because you got to do the whole grief stuff in lockdown, which is really tough. And we had no idea that he was struggling with his mental health, so it was kind of all quite a shock. You know, just to go to uni at 19, so yeah, tough. Once it's happened, like your life's changed from that
forever,
moment.
yeah.
So yeah, tough times.
How have you coped with it?
At first, I think it's like such an immediate shock. I think I was in shock for probably I look back probably 6 months probably, and then after that you kind of go through like a bit of a realization, and I kind of tried to use that energy and upset energy, I guess, and emotion to kind of channel. And that's why I've been working in the mental health space really hard because I need to kind of do something good in this because I need to. Otherwise, you kind of fall apart almost, don't you? Because if you don't channel something, you're like, what else am I going to do?
Would you say that that's a part of the reason why you do this? Like,
yeah, I've always been really passionate about it, but I think and that almost makes it harder because he didn't speak about how he felt.
Okay.
Even knowing all the stuff, like I literally just made a video, I think just before he passed away, talking about like speaking out about it and like how difficult it is during the pandemic and lockdown, and like don't like just suffer quietly, and then it happens. Yeah. So it is kind of
Just goes to show
very hard
how
to spin your
hard
head.
it
It
can
spins
be.
your head a lot, yeah. But and that's why when we're talking earlier on, like men is a big issue with men. Like it's a big issue in general, but like men we know in terms of suicide is exponentially higher, and I think the cultural side of that is huge. Like around people just being like not wanting to speak. So yeah, it's been tough, but I'm doing all right.
So is it a charity right now that you have, or is it?
No, so I'm a youth mental health ambassador for the UK.
Okay.
And so one of the biggest things I want to work on is early support hubs. So trying to get money for like walk-in support that doesn't have waiting lists, doesn't have referral
'cause that's
times,
what- I think
safe
that's-
spaces for people.
I think in whatever space possible, people should be honest. If you're able to speak truthfully in some space, you have no idea who you can affect. For example, if you guys have heard Dave's new album, We're All Alone in This Together, right? He has a song at the end of that, and I was listening through, and I like Dave. I think he's a smart boy. I've always thought that because every now and again he would speak so authentically about an experience. But there's this one tune where he just goes, right, this is how I feel, and he talks about having panic attacks and all this kind of stuff.
You don't really hear that as well.
And
from
it was,
No, you don't.
and this guy occupies a space, rightly or wrongly, that people consider to be one of strength.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's really important for people like him to say that shit because you can have that vulnerability and strength
Absolutely.
coexisting.
One doesn't cancel out the other.
Yeah, because we live in society as though
it's true, man.
though we're constantly needing to kill pain.
Yeah.
It's not. It's a essential part of life is pain, and I think the more we're told that that's an uncomfortable experience and that we should shy away from it, and that then the less we're going to grow up and then struggle to deal with big things when they happen.
What I find really odd is when I see sometimes like artists performing on stage about a song and you actually listen to the lyrics, everyone's singing along, but what they're saying is the
man.
most painful
Me
stuff.
and my like whole team make jokes about it because like all of my beats are upbeat and happy sounding, but the lyrics are deep.
Deep.
Leads me to believe that we should creativity is almost an essential part of well-being.
everyone.
It's something we should be doing every day to reconnect that state of self.
agree.
You know.
To be honest, throughout the pandemic, because I was in A&E a lot. When I came home, I just did quite a lot of like writing. Like I wrote a whole book in it, and like I wrote Live Well Every Day, which is the book that I've released. But it genuinely is a really great escape because when you're writing, you kind of almost, I guess, with that, I'm just thinking about what I'm putting on the paper, not anything else.
Oh, you get into a flow state.
So you kind of get into that state of like doing it, and I've actually found that quite therapeutic, I think. Everyone needs a creative outlet, something. And like, I think people sometimes confuse it because creativity can be anything really that you are like putting almost your mark on or like your input as well. It doesn't have to be like, you know, I think painting is a good example of writing, but it can mean anything to you, can't it? Anything that you genuinely enjoy.
It could be knitting.
Yeah. How do you feel like as people or as influencers or whatever, we can make a difference?
The talking's good, the meaningful action is what matters. So like, let's get the hubs happening. So if everyone's watching this and sharing it and pushing writing to their own MPs, which you can email them.
But let's actually do it, isn't it, as well?
Do it, because talking's good, but let's get action.
Absolutely. I think bringing more awareness, having more conversations as well on social media. I think we all, you know, did that on our platforms. I guess it shows people who don't have that reach that, you know, even though we're not speaking or I don't know who you are, I get it. I hear where you're coming from, or like I relate in a way.
Well, the about like good things for your mind, giving and doing something genuinely for other people is one of the best things for your own mental health.
And listen, I don't agree with body shaming, but I also believe that people genuinely want to feel healthy. No, it doesn't matter how it looks.
Yeah,
They just want to
100%.
feel
better.
Bro, I've
Absolutely.
been overweight for like most of my adult life. But like it's only over the last like 6 months that I've been like, nah, I'm not about to go into my late 20s being overweight and feeling like shit. So if you want to change how you feel, you might have to change how you look. But it's like one of the most self-rewarding
the process of
processes,
doing it,
man.
I think, is rewarding.
That's what it
Ultimately,
is.
even if, you know.
It's signposting. I think generally if someone comes to you and wants help, it's either saying, look, have you spoke to this person, but no, and that's why I think sometimes when say like, know like what's out for support, it's knowing so that people will know where to go. It's like, that's what I would say for anyone watching this, if you want to look for anywhere, Hub of Hope is amazing, because if you search Hub of Hope, you put in your postcode, it'll tell you all the support services, NHS charity and otherwise in your area. And it's amazing. They've just collated everything onto one place. And if that's brilliant to remember, because if someone says, I need help, you know, I want your help. So look, have you checked this out
Hub of
before?
Hope.
And they can go and search it and find out what's there. But I feel really optimistic. I think we have, you're right, I think there's some disingenuous stuff around it, but there's a lot of people who genuinely care about it. I think that the pandemic has made everyone realise, body and mind, general well-being, that they need to look after themselves probably better, and that modern society is probably pulling us away. And I hope that the energy from this we can channel into real change.
All right, cool. Win or bin?
Yes.
Early mornings.
Bin.
Win, yeah?
I love them.
Oh my God, yes, that's the true peace. 5 a.m.
Is that time
That's
you
what
wake
time I
up?
go to bed,
That's when
man.
it's bed, right?
If I get the space.
Bro, I'm fading out at that time.
What's the next one?
Date nights.
Oh, win, man.
I love a date.
I don't know if I do like
you got
date
a
nights.
don't like a date
Yeah, I
night.
do.
You
As
got
long
a
as I don't
girlfriend?
enjoy them, it's like a pressure with like, this is a date night, because then you have to like have an amazing, like everything has to go smoothly.
Really? Not if
Is
you're
it?
with someone that you're familiar with.
For me, I do like going out, but I don't like to plan it. I like to just be like, should we do this and find out where we end up? That's my wave.
Yeah, I
Does that work?
He's basically saying he's
Yeah.
in a winter wonderland, but they don't know what rides are going on. That's it. That's it. So it's a
That's
date night.
exactly what I'm
It's
saying.
a date night.
But we're there and we'll figure it out together. It's all in here.
Yeah.
Are we going? How shall I go? What's the best lockdown DM slide you've received? I'd say it was my I definitely would say it's my current girlfriend. So she.
She's into your DMs.
Yeah.
Love
I
it.
love
Go on.
that. I like when women make
we actually were at the same bar. Was when they had like the in between lockdown bit where you can actually go somewhere, and then she just messaged me afterwards saying like hi or whatever, and I was like hoping that she messaged me because I didn't get her number, and you know, just lucky.
Oh, it's meant to be, man.
Nice.
I love it. I love it. Go on.
Show us the last photo on your phone. I can't show
That's
you the last
you.
photo. I can't do it.
That's you.
I know what it is. I can't do it.
That's
I
priceless.
can't do it. I love you though. You're right.
Next. What is your booth truths or mantra? So my mantra, there's always hope for a better day. I like that one. So when it's that same theory of what we were saying earlier on, stuff happens and you get bad times, but you can always get through. to
Yeah,
better
this too
times.
shall pass.
That's me.
Absolutely.
Okay, wait. I'm gonna say two. What's one I was gonna say earlier is possession is the root of all unhappiness.
damn.
I think about that a lot. But then when I was younger, it was a Dr. Seuss quote, which is Be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind.
Absolutely.
Do you have any tattoos you're embarrassed about? I don't have tattoos, so anyone with tattoos?
I'm not embarrassed about it, but I was just thinking, I think back and I'm just like, why?
What
So
is it?
I've got hip hop on my wrist.
Love it.
I was
That's
a huge
phenomenal.
hip hop head when I was very young. Like,
You got a genre tattooed in your
Yeah, I
body.
know.
That's
That
legendary.
is so
That's a
fire.
sick
That is actually quite cool, though.
but do you know what?
fire.
It's mad.
Which
'cause
way
I'm
is it
just-
facing though?
it's
Towards
just-
you?
Yeah.
brilliant.
And I got it on this hand because I was just like, do you know what? If you do end up getting married, at least it's not on that hand. Like, that was my mentality when I was like 21. So, yeah, I'm not
fine.
embarrassed, but I'm just like, why? Like, I look back and it
I think
kind
that's
of does
pretty
take
cool,
me
though.
back. Yeah.
But that was a time in your life, so at least you can look at it when you was like
Yeah, and I
feeling.
just feel like I was a kid, you
Who was
know,
your
running
favourite rapper?
wild, spontaneous, everything.
Who was your favourite artist?
Exactly, Lupe Fiasco.
Oh, what a shout.
I
That's
know,
a
right?
great shout.
So you understand?
That's real hip hop.
Okay, yeah.
Money is available.
No.
We know what you do.
Yo, I'm